Wow. Ow. Packed.
Hi.
Hi.
Oh.
Jared. How did he
He's
not
so
take
cute.
the opportunity to kiss you under there, by the way?
I think we did. I'm sure we did. It's me.
They haven't showed it yet.
Yeah.
So I want to start with a tweet that you sent out, I think, Monday night. And you wrote, "Just remember, when you judge me, you do not define me, you define yourself. Think about that before sending out negativity to anyone tonight." And I thought, not only does it speak to your experience, but social media in general. How have you been able to keep up your sense of humor, your positivity, when you've been taking some heat this season?
Oh, have I? I haven't noticed. Yeah, I think, honestly, I said to somebody else, if I was doing this 5 years ago when I was like 25, I think I would have been a disaster right now. But I feel like I'm like a 30-year-old woman. I'm like, yeah, I got this. And I think I surround myself with the right people, and I don't pay too much attention to all the negativity. I just, my family is super supportive, and my friends are super supportive, and I've got good people behind me. So I just have to stay true to who I am. And it would suck if I got upset over this. Like, nobody wants to be miserable.
That's very true.
I just choose to be happy.
So I had to start off with Nick. You knew it would be controversial to bring him onto the season, especially a few episodes in. Did you think it would be this much of a hot topic, not only with the guys, but with viewers? I mean, there's something about him that people feel very strongly about.
I guess I didn't know how strongly people felt about Nick. I didn't really watch I didn't watch the whole season of Andy's. I kind of watched towards the end. Then going through it myself, I kind of gave him the benefit of the doubt, where it's like, editing, maybe that wasn't, exactly who he was. And after talking to him just a bit, you reach out to other people from other seasons, and you talk to people about your experience, and it's kind of nice to be able to relate to other people that have gone through what you have, because nobody else has, and it's a crazy world. So we developed some sort of friendship, and I had with other people too, but I was like, oh, this guy, he's really nice, and he's great, and he's really supportive of me, and so I didn't see that side of him that other people see, so I didn't really expect this much focus on it, but I get it. I get it now.
Well, I think I speak for other women when I ask, what is it about him that pulled you in so quickly? Because, girl, you were smitten the second you saw him. You're giggly. Yeah,
Am I doing right now? I think Nick is just a really affectionate, physical guy. He's not afraid to grab you and I don't know, it's weird. He's just a very openly flirty human being, so he kind of makes you feel like that. I think that's what it is. He's a flirt.
Yeah. As we saw,
he's charming too. He is.
As we saw in the last episode, some drama was stirred up when we sort of left off on a cliffhanger with Sean. Give us a little tease, I should say, about where we can go next. Obviously, he's very upset, but he only knows about a date, Rose, and he sort of confronts you. What should people expect for next week?
Yeah, I think I say this every time, where right from the get-go, me and Sean were up here. We started off as high as my hand can go. So obviously we can't keep going up from there while I start to date other guys. So obviously it's going to be peaks and valleys and bumps in the road. And so I think that makes for a strong relationship too, where you have to go through these things with somebody, and it just happens to start right now. So that's what's going to happen.
These dates have been so funny. I mean, the guys who are on your season cannot be shy. If they're going to get a rose, if they're going to move on, I mean, stand-up, sumo wrestling. If
they're going to date me, they can't be shy.
You put them through the ringer with these group dates. What's been the most fun out of all of them, and anything we didn't get to see?
Yes. My most fun was my date with Amy Schumer doing the comedy. She is, you guys, we couldn't show half the things that came out of her mouth, but they were hilarious. And that same date, I actually got to go up and do some stand-up, but they didn't show it because I think it was too good. They were like, we can't show her being that good.
Yeah. Well,
I showed up all the guys. I can't do that.
Speaking of, I have a very important burning question. Do you make up your own jokes and puns, or are these you've collected along the way? Because that's your thing.
I'm pretty punny. It's both. I don't know. I like to think I'm pretty funny. But I feel like I'm a joke stealer. Like, lots of my material is definitely from like Family Guy or movie quotes or funny things that I just like, my brain, I have selective hearing. It's like movie quotes, Family Guy, and rap lyrics. They just stick in. I don't know what it is.
Yeah, you love rapping. Are we going to see some more rapping this season?
I definitely rapped more this season. If they'll show it or not, I don't know.
They've showed your best work already.
Yeah. Gotta end on a high note.
To talk about some of the other guys, has Josh forgiven you for the haircut? I have to know.
I think he forgave me as soon as it happened. He kept it. He had the option of fixing it, and I saw him the next day, and he was like, I kept it. And I'm like, it looks great.
Have you told him that you're actually not a hairstylist by trade?
I'm sorry, but I am. I took hair school. That's what's sad. I took hair school in like cosmetology for 3 years. And so I'm like, I'm going to give him a badass mohawk. And the clippers, I was like, did you guys rig this? Like, did you mean for me to screw this up that bad? Because they were terrible clippers. And I was like, ugh. And then they died on the other side, and it was just a mess. But I want to redeem myself and like maybe give them a better one at like Women Tell All or something. I don't know. Or Men Tell All. What am I? Yeah, Men Tell All.
Not to bring it down a little bit, but to talk about Ian, who also was... I know, but we have to talk about it. And I don't want to give him too much satisfaction of talking about it, but we were talking yesterday, and I was like, you kept your cool. You kept your cool with him, and some of the guys just haven't been so great to you. In your head, are you kind of like, you know what, they're doing enough damage on their own, I'm going to let them go, or did it take a lot for you to hold yourself back in that moment?
I feel like because of who I am, they got a lot of guys with strong personalities, so sometimes we clash. But with people like Ian, like I did not see that coming because he was so into me and like telling me how much he liked me, and he would sneak me notes sometimes that were like telling me how into me he was, and I think it just definitely wasn't reciprocated, so he was a little like, But I didn't see that coming, so I think I had a second to sit back and be like, wait, do I want to just like attack him right now, or do I want to keep my cool? Mm-hmm. And I didn't know what to do, which caused me to keep my cool. I was like, I don't know what to do right now. I don't know what to do. Mm-hmm. So I just like mentally slapped him, and my tongue hurt after that because I had to bite it so hard. But I just felt like Ian was doing enough damage himself, and even more so that I didn't know, like talking about being the next Bachelor. So I was like, oh, thank God I didn't say anything. Yeah. Did it himself.
I mean, that had to have been a tough episode to watch for many reasons. You knew that was going to be sort of the big episode that people have been waiting for. You know, they've been teasing it. Was it harder to watch someone really sort of be mean to you and watch yourself like relive that moment, or was it harder to watch all the Nick stuff where, you know, you really gave yourself into the moment? And
trust me, I can handle people being mean. I think we all know that by now. But yeah, I think it was harder to watch the Nick stuff just because it's such a private thing. Mm-hmm. But nothing's really private when you're on national television, so it's hard to separate the two.
I mean, we didn't really get a chance to see the fallout of what happens. In your head, I mean, does that change the course of the season? Because regardless if the other men find out, you know, you've reached a step with one guy that you haven't with everyone else. So how do you go about sort of reconciling how you feel about everyone else when someone is already on another level?
Well, I mean, you're taking 10, however many guys are left at this point, relationships. Not all of them are going to go there, and not all of them are going to stay nowhere. Like, all relationships move in different paths and at different paces. So that one went there, and that's, you know, it's something that I don't think I'll ever be able to explain to anybody, or even like try and wrap nor should I have to, or like wrap my head around. It's just that every relationship's different. Some are slow, some are fast, some are more physical, some are going nowhere, and they're all going to go at different paces. Just that one went there.
Are there any relationships that maybe viewers haven't gotten a chance to see as much, or any time with some of the men that you feel like the audience hasn't gotten to see those moments that you know that you shared with them?
Yeah, if you think about it, like, you are being filmed so many hours of every day, and only an hour and a half is showing of that on once a week. So there's a lot that people unfortunately don't get to see, and fortunately, but I think it's sad that my relationship with Cupcake doesn't get shown a lot more, because we have a funny little banter, and he is good stuff.
Yeah,
he's good. He's hilarious.
Does he sing as much as we've gotten to see. It seems
Maybe
like
that's why they don't see. It seems
Maybe
like that's why they don't show our conversation, because he's just singing the whole time. It's really annoying. I'm just kidding. He's not singing the whole time. But no, he likes to sing.
We were here, I think the night of the premiere, we were here with Chris Harrison. We did the same thing. So I have to ask, you got to give us some funny behind-the-scenes story. Everybody loves Chris Harrison. Any funny moments that you guys shared or that you can fill us all in on?
Yeah, he chirps me all the time, and then all of a sudden his game face is on, and I'm like, but okay, because he'll like make like before we start something, like the camera's obviously rolling. He's like, Kaitlyn, nice nail polish. Like my 11-year-old daughter wears the same one. And anyways, and I'm like, like he's funny. He can hang.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's an offside little character, and then he puts on his game face. He's a good guy. I like him.
Yeah. I feel like he's been missing from a lot of episodes, but we finally got to see a little bit of a deliberation, or you at least talking to him. At times, do you feel like he's like surrogate therapist, surrogate father, surrogate best friend? Like, I mean, is he all of that?
All of those, yes. Yes. You can just talk to him, and he always has some kind of advice for you.
Yeah. Yeah. I know the dreaded 2-on-1 date is coming up. And
dun, dun, dun.
By the way, and like people totally forgot, I guess it's the one good thing about the drama with Nick and Ian is that everyone forgot about JJ. And it's like, I think he's probably super happy about that.
Totally. Nick saved JJ. I think they're friends.
Yeah. So, I mean, when you watched that stuff back between him and Clint.
What stuff? I don't know what you're talking about.
I mean, even just the bromance turned like really awkward friendship breakup that happened. Were you aware
of the whole thing?
Of any of
I
that?
honestly was watching, being like, why didn't Clint treat me like that? He was so good to JJ. So loyal. Yeah, that was intense.
Yeah.
I forget what your question was. I just got wrapped up.
Well,
in
I was gonna say we have the dreaded 2-on-1 date that poor Joe, who we haven't gotten to see a lot lot of him.
He's another one. What a beauty that guy is.
He's always in the background, and you know his hair is like you can't not notice him.
Yeah.
But we finally are gonna get, I guess, some more screen time between him and JJ. Is it as tense as past 2-on-1 dates have been? I can't imagine how.
I don't think anyone would be comfortable in that situation. Like I kept being like, I'm so sorry. It's so weird. It's so uncomfortable. Yeah.
Yeah.
They were good sports, but it was uncomfortable.
Any other dates that you're excited about, or locations or places that?
Every place in Ireland that we went is just unreal.
Yeah.
Dates are good in Ireland. Yeah.
Looking back at both your time on as the Bachelorette and your time on Chris's season, what's been like the biggest learning experience for you? And when you look back years from now, what do you think you'll take away from this whole experience, start to end?
Probably my vulnerability. I think when I was on Chris's season, I was like, I am so cool, and I didn't allow myself to go there. And then I was like, wait, yes, I'm going to. Oh, I'm going to get sent home now. But from that, I learned that, the second that I did open up and become vulnerable was the second that whole process started to work for me. So I think that segued me into my season on The Bachelorette, where I was definitely open with my emotions and allowing myself to feel things, and maybe too much. But I think that's what I take away from all of this, is that now I'm okay with my feelings, guys. I'm 30.
Yeah, you got to own it. So no regrets.
No.
Right. We've gotten little updates on Britt. Have you gotten a chance to catch up with her? Do you guys?
I actually just talked to her last night.
How's she doing? I mean,
she's great. I didn't get into any details because I was half asleep with one eye open, being like, I have a day tomorrow. But she's so sweet.
Yeah.
She's just. Sometimes people think, is she really that sweet, or is it this act? But she's really that sweet. She is. I even questioned it. I was like, come on now. But she is. She's a very sweet, genuine person who just has a good heart. But
yeah.
Am I not convincing right now?
No.
I'm being serious.
Before we get to audience questions, I want to ask Bachelor in Paradise is coming up, and there's several people from Chris's season who So I believe it's Jillian, Jade, Ashley S, Carly, Ashley I, and Julia are all on.
They definitely picked the right girls.
Seriously. So any predictions of all those people? Do you think one of them might find love? Like, any predictions about your fellow castmates?
I do not know what to expect. I expect the unexpected. I don't know with those. That it's just going to be entertaining. I know that.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of if anyone would fall in love out of those girls. Hopefully Ashley S. That would be great.
Well, I was just going to...
I want big things for her. She's awesome.
I was just going to say, we got to see her a little bit on your season. I don't know if that helped people understand her more or just feel the same about her. About question.
I don't know either. When she had a curling iron near my head, I was like, uh-oh. Dangerous.
So we are going to take audience questions.
This should be fun.
Yeah.
I'm scared.
Hi, Kaitlyn.
Hi.
I'm Emma, and this is Claire. We host the HuffPost podcast about The Bachelorette.
Okay, hi.
Called Here to Make Friends, and we just had a question for you.
Yeah, so we've noticed that there's been a lot of judgment applied to the way that you've pursued your relationships with the guys this season. Do you feel like there's been a double standard in how you've been treated compared to bachelors in the past, and has that made you into maybe more of a feminist or affected your attitude toward that at all?
I do think it's a little bit of a double standard. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like people always appreciated my character and who I am on Chris's season, and that was who I am. And now I feel like it's being used against me. So I do feel like on other seasons and things that have happened, didn't something happen in the ocean with Ben and Courtney or something? And people are like, whatever. Now I'm willing to stand up for, and you know what Yeah, I do think it's a double standard, yes. And maybe I am a little bit more of a feminist now. # girl power. Thank you.
Hi, Kaitlyn.
Hi.
My question is, when you were on the balcony in Monday's episode, were you talking to yourself, or was there a producer with you?
With the obstructed view.
There was a shadow there and a little, a wall. No, I do not talk to myself. Well, I do, but not about that stuff.
Yeah. Well, I think going off that point, I mean, you've been very open about living in the moment, and you weren't mic'd at some point. Does that kind of go out of your head when you're so deep into that moment that you do actually forget that this is totally a moment that's going to be on TV?
Yes, I do forget. Sometimes that works to my advantage that I'm an in-the-moment person, and sometimes it gets me in trouble. So, I'm glad you asked that, because no, I was not talking to myself on the balcony.
To clarify.
Just to clarify, I'm not that crazy. Oh, I don't know.
Oh, hey.
Oh, hi. Who has the microphone?
Yeah, two small questions. One, what's it like to talk about things that happened in the recent past as the present? It seems kind of surreal, this whole.
That's a great question.
Yeah, it's very strange, and you do such a good job at it. And I guess one other tiny thing is what is it like comparing your personal memories of how things happen to how they appear in condensed form?
Yeah, it's hard because I wish you guys could just watch every single hour of every day of what's all happened, because you'd understand a lot more. Mm-hmm. But do you mean talking about it now it's happening right now when really it's in the past? Yeah, that's really weird. Yeah. I know, I'm that was a while ago, I'm over it. Yeah, I try, but hey, remember, I'm in the moment. I'm in the moment right now. We're good. Yeah. Thank you.
There was a...
Hi.
So I just have a question. It seems like on the show, everything is funnier and everything is sadder, and emotions are definitely heightened from the real world. So what is it after the show transitioning back into everyday life? Do you still cry more and laugh harder, or?
That's something that's how it's changed me as well, is those emotions are just also heightened. It's such a weird thing to transition from that world back into reality, and it happens so fast, because it's how many weeks of just living in this world, and it's go, 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 and little sleep, and so many emotions, and so many relationships, to just by yourself in your bed at home being what the hell just happened to me? Mm-hmm. It's a difficult transition, and definitely I find myself crying over peanut butter commercials. I'm
Do you find yourself like explaining everything you're going through like even with a friend and like saying it in complete like full sentences? Everything's a soundbite type of thing.
Yes, I like answer questions with another question. Like I call people all the time to like talk about their feelings, and everyone's like, "Kaitlyn, who are you?" It's weird.
Hello. I just have a question. If you had known what was going on with JJ and Clint, would you have sent them both home?
Hell yeah. I had no idea. I had a sniff about Clint, but
Yeah. There's one in 10 here.
hi.
My name's Alana. I just want to know, is it hard for you to like have feelings for multiple people at the same time without feeling guilty? And also, how do you remember all the details about them? Or is that very hard? Do you have like a little notepad?
Good question. That's a good question. That's actually a really good question. Yes, it's difficult because I like to think I'm a loyal person. So I do feel a lot of guilt. I think that's where a lot of emotions come from for me, was trying to juggle all these different relationships and compartmentalize. Like I feel like really strong about this person. This one's moving a bit slower, but I'm moving really quickly with this person, so I feel guilty about this relationship. And it's really difficult because you don't do that in your everyday life. And I thought it would be a glorious thing, but it is not. And then, yes, I go home actually, and I had a notepad, and I would keep the details, and I really would. And I'd be like, okay, this guy's daughter's name is this, and the next time I'd be like, how's your daughter, blah, blah, blah. And he'd be like, wow. And I'd be like, checking my notes, make sure it's right. Yeah.
That's how you remembered the other guy who liked music. You were like, I remember you like music, and he was like, we never
He's
had a
probably
conversation.
like, how the hell? Notepad.
Your secrets
I think that's
are coming
important,
out.
though. I think,
Totally.
And I don't think that's a bad thing. It don't make me bad people. I was just really trying to like get to know these guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you're so afraid of birds, why do you have a feather tattoo?
I was waiting for that one. Yeah, I think it's the flapping that really scares me. And I'll tell you where that comes from. My mom, my grandma had a bird when I was little, and my mom is terrified of birds, like deathly afraid of them. And so my uncle used to think it was this funny thing to let it out of the cage, and my mom would grab me and shake and like lock us in a bathroom and cry. Like obviously I'm gonna be scared of birds. But I got them tattooed on me. I like old school like sailor tattoos. I know it's weird. But this is the only bird that remembers how to fly home. And so I liked the meaning behind that, and I can't really see them, so it's all good.
We have time for 2 more questions.
Hi.
Hi.
Does it make a difference that Chris Soules is now single?
What, like maybe I can get back in there? No.
You're like moving on.
I'm so close with Whitney too, so I'm like, that's still like, I don't know. As weird as it was that we already were like dating the same guy at the same time, no, not going there.
I have a question.
Oh, hi.
Okay, so after like the whole season and some of like the negativity that people have said, would you do it over again? Like, would you say yes to being the Bachelorette again?
No. Don't take that the wrong way. Just because I'm really happy right now, and I wouldn't put myself through that again because I'm already happy with where I'm at. Not as a negative thing against, yeah.
So before we close, we're about halfway through the season. Give us one last little preview. What's next? Can we expect a lot of like over the balcony tears, like back in Jason Mesnick's time when he was, or is it more drama?
All of that. There's going to be tears, there's going to be more drama, there's going to be a lot of happiness too. It's going to be everything.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great.
You will not be bored.
Well, thank you so much for being here and
for having me.
answering everyone's questions.
Yeah.
I don't think I need to remind everyone, but The Bachelorette airs Mondays at 8 p.m. I'm sure you all know that. So tune in and get to see part 2 of Ireland.
Thank you guys so much. Thank you.